students, I am Dr. Vinatha, Assistant Professor in Department of General Medicine, Sree Balaji Medical College and Hospital. I have 10 publications and hold 1 patent, reflecting my commitment to research, innovation and evidence practice medicine. Today's topic is about acromegaly. At the end of the session, students should be able to know about the definition, etiology, pathophysiology, clinical features, complication, diagnostic evaluation and management. Coming to the definition of acromegaly, it is a chronic disorder caused by excess secretion of growth hormone. It's almost always from the growth hormone secretory pituitary adenoma after epiphyseal fusion. If growth hormone excess occurs before epiphyseal closure, it results in gigantism. Causes of acromegaly are primary causes. It's by somatotroph adenoma, growth hormone secreting pituitary macroadenoma or microadenoma. It may secrete growth hormone alone or growth hormone plus prolactin. We'll say it is mammosomatotroph or mixed adenoma. It's occasionally a part of multiple endocrine neoplasia. Extrapituitary causes are ectopic growth hormone releasing hormone production by hypothalamic gangliocytoma, pancreatic islet cell tumor, bronchial carcinite. Ectopic growth hormone production is extremely rare and seen in small cell lung carcinoma. Functions of growth hormone, it helps in a linear growth of bones, increases the cartilage formation and promotes soft tissue growth. It increases protein synthesis in muscle and tissue, increases lipolysis in adipose tissue, and decreases glucose uptake and increases hepatic gluconeogenesis leading to hyperglycemia. It promotes the retention of calcium, phosphate, sodium, potassium and supports the bone growth. It supports immune function and wound healing, involved in cell regeneration and tissue repair. How is growth hormone regulated? Growth hormone secretion is done in a pulsatile manner and it is mainly controlled by the hypothalamus, which releases 2 key hormones. Growth hormone releasing hormone, it stimulates the growth hormone secretion. Somatostatin or growth hormone inhibiting hormone, it inhibits the growth hormone secretion. At the hormonal level, growth hormone releasing hormone from the hypothalamus is the main positive regulator. Certain metabolic changes also trigger the growth hormone release like low blood glucose, low free fatty acids, high amino acid levels, strong stimulus for the growth hormone release. Feedback control is by growth hormone and its mediator insulin-like growth factor exert negative feedback on hypothalamus and pituitary. If the growth hormone is high, then it exerts a negative feedback on hypothalamus and pituitary. This reduces growth hormone secretion by inhibiting growth hormone releasing hormone and stimulates the somatostatin release. This feedback mechanism helps in growth hormone maintain within a normal physiological range. Certain drugs can also influence growth hormone secretion like dopamine agonist, alpha adrenergic agonist, clonidine, levodopa and arginine. On the other hand, beta adrenergic agonist and chronic glucocorticoid therapy suppresses growth hormone secretion. Coming to the pathophysiology of acromegaly, excess growth hormone increases the insulin-like growth factor production mainly in liver. It mediates most of the somatic growth effects and metabolic alteration. Soft tissue and bone growth like enlargement of hands, feet, face and visceral organs are seen. Metabolic effects like insulin resistant, hyperglycemia, lipolysis are seen. Mass effect from pituitary adenoma, compressive symptoms like visual field defect, headache and hypopituitarism are common. Coming to the clinical features of acromegaly, acral and soft tissue changes, enlargement of hands and feet, there will be tightness of ring, gloves and shoes becoming tight, facial changes like prognathism, coarse facial features, wide spacing of teeth, frontal bossing, enlarged nose, thick lips, soft tissue overgrowth, macroglossia, thickened skin, increased sweating. Voice changes are due to laryngeal hypertrophy. Skeletal and musculoskeletal involvement cause arthralgia, degenerative arthritis, kyphosis, enlarged jaw, mandibular prognathism. Carpal tunnel syndrome due to soft tissue thickening, vertebral enlargement increases intervertebral space. Visceral enlargement like enlargement of liver, spleen, kidney, thyroid are seen. Heart enlargement may lead to cardiomegaly and heart failure. Metabolic effects like increased insulin resistance, hyperlipidemia, weight gain. Neurological and visual symptoms like headache due to tumor expansion, bitemporal hemianopia from compression of the optic chiasma and other cranial nerve palsy if cavernous sinus is invaded. Reproductive and endocrine effects like hyperprolactemia, there is co-secretion along with the growth hormone, or it may be due to stalk effect leading to galactorrhea, amenorrhea and infertility. Hypogonadism, thyroid or adrenal deficiency may occur due to mass effect on normal pituitary. Cardiovascular effects like hypertension, cardiomyopathy, arrhythmias are common, which increase the cardiovascular morbidity and mortality. Neoplastic association like increased risk of colonic polyp and colonic carcinoma are seen. Investigations, screening test is by serum IGF-1 level as somatomedincy is the most reliable screening marker and it's elevated in almost all cases as a confirmatory test. Oral glucose tolerance test with growth hormone measurement. Normally, oral glucose suppresses the growth hormone to less than 1 nanograms per ml. In acromegaly, growth hormone fails to suppress or it paradoxically rises. Other biochemical tests to be done are prolactin, fasting glucose and HbA1c level, thyroid and gonadal hormone profile for other pituitary involvement. Imaging is by MRI of pituitary with gadolinium contrast is the imaging modality of choice. It identifies macroadenoma and microadenoma of less than 10 mm, macroadenoma of more than 10 mm. CT scan is done if MRI is contraindicated. Additional screening test for colonoscopy for colonic polyp or carcinoma, echocardiography for cardiomyopathy, visual field charting is done. Differential diagnosis of acromegaly are growth hormone excess occurs before epiphyseal closure, say it is gigantism. Familial coarse facial features. Hypothyroidism can cause coarse features but not acral enlargement. Page's disease of bone. Complications of acromegaly are diabetes mellitus, hypertension, cardiomyopathy, sleep apnea, colon carcinoma, arthropathy and vertebral deformities, visual loss if optic chiasma compression is seen. Goals of treatment is to normalize growth hormone and IGF-1 levels, remove or control tumor mass, reverse or prevent complication, preserve pituitary function. Surgery, it is the first line treatment for most cases. Transpenoidal adenomectomy is preferred for microadenoma and smaller macroadenoma. Cure rate for microadenoma is more than macroadenoma. Complications are hypopituitarism, CSF leak, diabetes insipidus, meningitis. Post-operatively, growth hormone levels less than 1 nanograms per ml after oral glucose tolerance test and normal IGF-1 level indicates remission. Medical therapy is by somatostatin analogs, octreotide, lanreotide, paclitaxel. It suppresses growth hormone secretion and shrink tumor size. Useful pre-operatively or when surgery is contraindicated. Side effects are GI upset, gallstones, glucose intolerance. Growth hormone receptor antagonist is pegvisomant blocks the growth hormone action at the receptor level, normalizes IGF-1 level in most of the cases. Dopamine agonist cabergoline bromocriptine useful if mild disease or co-secretion of prolactin, less effective for growth hormone normalization. Radiotherapy, when surgery and medical therapy is failed or contraindicated, conventional fractionated radiotherapy or stereotactic radiosurgery. Effect is low, it may take years to normalize growth hormone or IGF-1 levels. Long-term risk of hypopituitarism is seen. Monitoring and follow-up by serial IGF-1 and growth hormone level for biochemical control, MRI pituitary yearly if at all symptoms are progressing, visual field charting, glucose and lipid profile regularly, monitor for hypopituitarism post-treatment. Prognosis is with effective treatment, mortality normalizes. Untreated patients have 2 to 3 times increased mortality mainly from cardiovascular and cerebrovascular causes. IGF-1 normalization strongly correlates with improved survival. That brings me in the end of the session. We'll meet in the next session.